been so good, he been so good, good.
He's been so good.
He's been so, so good.
He's been good.
He been so good, he been so good, he been so good to me.
So today we're going to be covering the teacher, which is Christ. Isaiah 30 verse 20 says, "Even though the Lord may allow you to go through a season of hardship and difficulty, he himself will be with you. He will not hide himself from you, for your eyes will constantly see him as teacher." So there's things that we have to unpack in this verse. I know we probably won't be able to do it in this little video, but 3 things that we need to first look at. So who's allowing the season of hardship and difficulty? Who is with you? And how are you seeing him in that situation? So basically, the Lord has allowed the season of hardship and difficulty. He himself is with you, and you will see him as teacher. Those are the 3 things that we need to look at. So this is part 1, right? And I was noticing in my time, when I was going through like a little spiritual warfare battle in my life, that I didn't understand where the hardship was coming from. I didn't understand why there was difficulty, right? Why there was so much pressure. But then it just happened to be when one of the days I was reading this verse and things just started to make sense. Because what problems do is that problems bring you closer to God. So that is why he allows seasons of hardships and difficulty, because he knows that that pressure will push you towards him. One of the most heartbreaking things I've come to realize about, people trying to pursue their relationship with Christ is that when things are okay, it's hard. When you're comfortable, when nothing really bad is going on, it's hard to get into prayer. You would think that you'd be at your most thankful when things are okay and you have peace, but you kind of forget. It's a very weird thing to say, but you kind of forget that God exists, because you're just enjoying the moment. You're just enjoying everything. You're enjoying the peace. You're enjoying the comfort. So the reason why God allows problems to happen, the reason why God allows us to go through seasons of difficulty and hardship, is because he knows that those things will bring you to him. And he knows that if you're a person who didn't pray before, this problem is probably going to push you to pray now. So this verse, I don't know, it's just an encouraging verse for those, a lot of people, when they go through spiritual battles, one of the first things that they think is, what did I do wrong? If you're praying to God, you ask yourself, what did I do wrong? But sometimes it's not about you doing anything wrong. Sometimes it's about maybe you're doing the right thing. Maybe you've decided to press in more into your relationship with Christ. And now, as a result of that, the devil sees that this person he's getting to where he needs to get to. So I need to put some stumbling blocks. God uses that too. Don't worry about it. God, he is with you. Your eyes will constantly see him as teacher, as Isaiah 30 verse 20 says. So that's just a little encouragement for someone who's going through their battle right now, that the Lord has allowed the season of hardship and of difficulty. He himself is with you. He didn't send no angel. He himself is with you, and it's time for your eyes to constantly see him as teacher. So we spoke on Isaiah 30 verse 20, and we found out about the hard times, the trials, who allows them and who is with us. One of the things that hard times and trials do is they mold and they help you to become a better person. They build you. The pressure makes you better as a person. So with this, we're moving on to the next part, and it's verses that are in the New Testament, and it speaks on pruning when Jesus was talking about him being the true vine, right? So John 15 verse 1 to 8 says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. You are already clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, unless it abides in the vine. Neither can you unless you abide in me. Neither can you unless you abide in me, He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is cast out as a branch and is withered, and they gather him or them and throw them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, you will ask what you desire, and it shall be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, so you will be my disciples. Right? And then goes on to say, the author of this book, which is Ezekiel Guti, he goes on to say that God uses people to prune us. This involves all the ugly things that people do to us and say about us. God uses problems to prune us, right? Sometimes we create our own problems and then we cry, right? The problems that God uses that are inevitable, and then there are ones that you create by yourself. And then don't take the ones that you create by yourself as God doing that. No, you've created a problem. There's things that you can avoid. So just be on the lookout for things, bad decisions, or be on the lookout to learn from other people and their mistakes, so that you don't have to go through the same thing that they went through. God uses pressure to prune us. This has to do with the way we respond to problems, right? And some of the pressure is self-created, right? God has a purpose for everything he allows to come our way. Nothing comes by accident. Pruning is a powerful tool of God. God always achieves his purpose in the circumstances. The more we accept his pruning, the quicker it is over. That's a very, very, very important thing, that last part before we finish off. I have realized that whenever you're in God's class, it's always best to pay attention and do what you're taught. Because if you fail the class, you repeat it. And when you repeat, you take longer than what was intended. So be very sure to pay attention. Something that I like to do, and I've started doing recently, is like recording verses and recording things that I've learned throughout the day that I just found to be very important. And that has helped me with a lot of stuff. I can refer to those things. I can just meditate on whatever verse I've been given. So if you're not a person who journals, if you're not a person who records, you need to start doing that, because you're not going to remember everything. You're not going to remember everything. It's best to write things down. But that's basically on the trials, tribulations, the pruning procedures. I'm going to put a link to this where you can get this book. But it's called God's Pruning Procedures by Apostle Professor Ezekiel H. Guti. Very, very good book. Very, very profound man. But yeah, that's basically it on trials, tribulations, and how you should start looking at things. Your perspective and the way that you look at things is very important, because it determines how you're going to react. All right, guys. Peace. We really appreciate it if you guys subscribed and also hit the notification bell so that you can be notified on any new videos that I post.
OCOEE. Yeah. Hey. You told me to love, I love him again.